Hello and welcome. This is going to be a new series. I don't know how many parts there will be. It depends. Each one will be broken up. This is the more basic part here, part one. And then we'll see how many parts there are. I don't know yet because it can get pretty complicated. So I didn't want to try and put it all into one video. But anyway, this is the ancient Celtic method, or the Celtic cross. You can say it either way. And I'm using the Rider-Waite deck, and they have the book that goes with it. So if you're just starting out, that's a good deck to have because the book matches all the pictures, the deck perfectly. But you can use whichever deck you like. This is the one I started with 10 or 15 years ago, and I like it. But I also have the Druid Craft deck, which I like. But this Rider-Waite is a good deck. Now let's see. First thing is how you set up your area, and I like to keep it basic. I set it up. This is fancy for me because I'm making a video for YouTube, but normally I just like to put down something like this, and maybe I like a silver coin, and that's usually all I do. Because if you're going to go somewhere and read for somebody and you're not at home, you don't want to have to bring a bunch of things with you, candles and all kinds of other crystals and stuff. But even you don't even need these two things. You can just do it on a table or anything really, on a picnic bench if you're going to the park, because we have a nice park where I live, and sometimes I'll do that just on the picnic bench. But I like this because at least I can protect my cards a little, because sometimes the surface isn't very clean. And this way I can put this down and then put the cards there, and then the cards won't get dirty. All right, now the next part would be if you want to shuffle the cards or if you want someone else to shuffle them. Because when you start off, the person will ask a question. And as they're asking the question, this is the court card, by the way, I'll put that out of the side for a while. As they're asking the question, you can be shuffling. And some people let the other person shuffle, but I don't want anyone else to touch my cards. And that's probably the way you are too. So you can do all the shuffling and the cutting. You don't have to let them touch the cards. But if you don't have any problem with it, then you can let them touch the cards or cut the cards. But as they're asking the question, they can do it silently to themselves, or they can do it out loud. Then you're shuffling the cards, and you can shuffle them any way you like. I'm not very good at doing this one. Sometimes you can do it that way, or you can just do it the other way I was doing it, which is fine. I do it both ways. I do it that way first a couple of times, and then as I'm asking the question, I'll do it this way. And then you keep shuffling until you feel like the question is answered. And sometimes you can feel it. It'll feel comfortable, like you're ready to go. And then when you put it down, you cut it into 3 piles. The first one, you do it with your left hand. First one goes there. And then the second pile goes over here. And then you take the bottom one. This is the part you're going to read from. And you put it on top of that one. And then on top of that one. And then you're ready to go. And then this is the court card. Now, some people don't like to use a court card, but I like to use it because I think it helps focus the energy, focus the question. sometimes I'll just have a piece of silver, which acts as the court card, as the focus. But the court card would go right there. And this represents the person you're reading for, the querent, the person asking the question. And I did a video on this. You'll find it on my channel. It's in the playlist called How-To Videos, Tarot Reading How-To Videos. And it talks about this. So we won't go too much into this because that video covers how to select it. But you select the card connecting with their personality or the type of work they do. And if they've had readings before, they might already have a card that they like. So you'll ask them, do you prefer a court card? Do you have a court card? Or do you like a court card? Whatever you like, however you want to say it. And then they might say that they like the Queen of Swords or the King of Cups, or then you put that card down. And then you're ready to go. You're shuffled and ready. The question is asked. Hopefully the question is answered in here. And a lot of times it is. You wouldn't think it would be just by shuffling some cards. And it could come up so many thousands of different ways when you shuffle it. But somehow it seems to work out almost every time. I don't know what it is, how it works. I don't know, but it works. Somehow it works. So then you're ready to go, and you lay out 10 cards, and you lay them face up. And the first card, as they say, the first card covers him. And it's covering him. It covers this court card. And that talks about the general atmosphere of the question. What's happening to the person. The basics of the question. And this is the Four of Cups. So that's it. Oh, we've got 2 cups up. That's interesting. I actually shuffled it up. The only thing I prearranged was this card, but I actually shuffled it, and so I don't know what's going to come up. It'll be interesting to see. But this card talks about the general atmosphere. So this card, since it's the Four of Cups, it would be talking about someone taking a break and meditating. Maybe they're not happy with the way things are going and they want to try something new in their life. So that's the general atmosphere of the question that the person asked. And it should actually go this way. And then the next card crosses him, and it's always read upright. It goes this way, but it's always read upright. So this card, the Page of Swords, could mean things moving forward, someone bringing a message. So maybe that has to do with the first card of something new happening, that the person might be going into a new direction. But this can cross this. It can oppose this card and be the complete opposite of it, or it can complement it. It can be the same thing like it did here, where this one is saying that you might be taking a new direction. This one could be saying that a message might be coming in, and that could help you move forward in that new direction. But this could oppose, the second card could oppose the first card for either good or evil. It can be the opposite, or it can complement it and add on to it. And then we go to the third card, which is below him, below the court card, and that talks about something, the basis of the question, or something from the past, something that has already happened to the person. And that would be, oh, we got another cups. Got 3 cups up, and a sword. And this also talks about a message. This card, the pages talk about messages coming in. So in this particular thing, this would enhance the second card about the message. See, I'm not used to having the court card down when I do readings on videos, so I'm getting my numbers all mixed up, first, second, third. But this is the third card. Now, The next card, so this is the past. The next card is something that's in the near past, something that's just passing away. And that's a good card. That talks about courage and stamina, and the person is injured, but he comes back and he fights again. He has the stamina and the willpower to keep fighting. And that could connect with this card, talking about the person setting off on some new idea, and they would have the courage to move forward. And then this card is the near past, where this one is a little bit further in the past. This one is something that's just passing into the present time, because this little section here is the present, and then this is the near past going into the present. So it might be something like this person was injured, but they come back and they're stronger and they're willing to fight again. So maybe in the past, the person who's asking the question was injured somehow, or in a bad situation where they didn't come out as good as they would have liked, but now they're stronger and they can move forward. They've got the courage to move forward, even though they've been injured, because he's got his bandage on his head and he was fighting in a battle, but now he comes back on guard duty to fight some more, to watch out for the enemy, even though he's injured. So that could then lead into the present time. And then we have the two future cards, these two here. So this one is something that might happen, and then this card is something that will happen. So in this case, this card is a negative card, the King of Pentacles reversed. When they're this way, that's upright, then you've got reversed. So far you've got all the cards are upright. This batch, this is the first card that's reversed. And in most cases, when it's reversed, it's a negative meaning, but not all cases. It's not all positive when it's up and negative when it's reversed. But in most cases it is. Some cards, like the fives, are negative when they're up like this. And then when they're reversed, they're positive cards. So each card is a little different. But with the kings and the queens, if they're upright like this, they're good people with good qualities. When they're reversed, they're negative people with bad qualities, selfish qualities. So this card is saying that something negative may happen concerning a person. Some negative person might come in and try to disrupt what you're doing down here. But that's a maybe card, so it's not a sure thing. So let's see what the next card is. A future card, and that's something that will happen. And that's very good. That card talks about taking a spiritual journey. And look, it's another cup. Got a lot of cups up. So that talks about going away from the material things and going on a spiritual journey. And then this card is very similar, because this person was building up material wealth. Down here he's got his 4 cups, and he's thinking about going off on a different direction. He's not happy with the way he was going, and he might want to go off on a spiritual direction. And then this card says basically the same thing, but here he has 8 cups. He's built up even more wealth, and he's not happy with his lifestyle, so he's going on a spiritual quest, and the moon will be watching him and guiding him. So this is a stronger future card. This is something that will happen, and this is something that may happen. And so you might have a person here who's going to try and disrupt this, but this card is saying that the person will go off on their spiritual journey. And then when the card turns this way, it means that the person is done with the spiritual journey, and they're going to come back and start making money again, get back into the routine of making money. So that's an example of how when it's upright, actually it's up when it's upright and reversed, it's both positive. There's nothing negative about this card, because this way it talks about a spiritual journey, which is a good thing. And then when it's reversed, it talks about making money, coming back and starting to make money again. The book over here talks about when it's this way that it's a negative, but I don't like that, because there's nothing negative about going off on a spiritual journey, because you improve yourself, you improve your inner self. So I think this card has positive meanings, either up like this or reversed. They're both good. Then you get down to the last 4 cards. Let's get Witch Hazel and Pandora out of the way. This is like the Queen of Wands, has her black cat. The sinister aspects of Venus. I like the black cat. So we have the last 4 cards, and the first one is negative feelings the person has about the question. Or it could be, they also say something that the querent fears, something you fear. But it's the negative feelings about the question. And that's a negative card, so that makes sense. So a lot of times, maybe 50-50, it'll be a negative card, which makes perfect sense because this is supposed to be a negative card. But a lot of times it'll be positive. And when it's positive and there's no negative qualities in this card, then a lot of times it'll match up with things going on here. If it were this way would mean moving forward, being strong, making things happen. And then that would go with this part here. But it's a reversed card, so that means slowing down, negative things happening, which is perfect for a fear card, because you're moving forward on this card and this card, and then these two, and then this shows courage. So at this point you wouldn't want to slow down. So that makes a perfect fear card, because you wouldn't want to do that. Then the next card is friends and family. That's the opinion and influence of your friends and family on what's happening here. Or sometimes it could be what's happening to a friend or family member. It just depends on the cards around it. So in this case, that means freedom. So that makes perfect sense, because it goes with this card and this card. This card is talking about spiritual freedom. And then this card would talk about physical freedom, freedom from indecision. So that, in that case, it connects with this card. So it would be their influence on you, the influence of a friend or family member on this situation. If it was a completely different card, like, I don't even have one up here. Let's say this card was here. Then that could mean maybe the friend or family member is the one who's being courageous and had to go through some trouble. But since this card is here, that represents you. If it's something like that here, it could represent the friend or the family member, and it could mean that they are going through that situation. But in this case, it means that they're influencing this group here. So that's the kind of thing we'll get into on like part 2 and 3, how each card influences the other. But because it gets pretty complicated as you go along, because each card influences each other card and where the groups they're in and where they're sitting next to and all kinds of things. So then we have the last 2 cards. This one, that's kind of a good and negative card. That one is what the querent hopes for, the outcome they hope for, the thing they want to happen. And in this particular card can go either way. This person is victorious and this person loses. So depending on the cards around it would determine whether the querent is this person or this person. If the querent is this person, then they're going to be victorious. If they're this person, then they're going to lose. So that card could go either way. So since it's a card what the person hopes for, then they're probably that person there, the person who's victorious. Then the final card, the final outcome, and that's a very good card. The Devil. You wouldn't think the Devil would be a good card, but it is. Because that talks about breaking the bond, or being, it actually goes with this card. Because it talks about these two people being bound up and chained to materialism. They want material things, but the chains are loose. So when the card turns this way, the chains fall off, and they're no longer addicted to materialism, which goes with this card because this person is going away from materialism and to spiritual things. So it matches perfectly with that card. So this card is the final outcome, and it's supposed to wrap everything up. And it connects with this card, so it's connecting on that level of spiritual freedom. And it connects with this card because it's saying this person wanted to get away from material things and go in a different direction. So that card is matching with these two cards. So that's a good final outcome card. Sometimes you'll get one there that makes no sense at all. Like this card reversed, which is kind of a negative card, means stagnation and nothing's happening, which would make no sense up there. But when it's that way, it's possibly a warning card or an advice card saying to stay away from stagnation, to keep moving forward. All right, so I think that's it for part 1. And in the next part, we'll get more into connecting stories, making stories, because sometimes stories will go this way, and sometimes they'll go that way, and connect this way. All right, I think that's it. I don't want this video to be too long, and we'll make another one as soon as I can, and get that one up. All right, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Bye.